Hi FlossTube Stitchers. I have two vintage stitches tonight that are both done on perforated paper, and I could have saved these for a future video all about working on perforated paper, but since paper was kind of hard to get for a couple of years, I kept postponing the idea of doing that video. And meanwhile, I've shown a number of those pieces already as they pertain to the season or the topic. So I may never do that video. The first one is a Milhill discontinued kit. I believe it's called Sunflower Pocket. I didn't find the remnants of my kit, but I did see reference to it in somebody's Stash Unload, and that's what they called it. So it sounds reasonable. It does look like a pocket with flowers coming out of the top of it. I loved it because it was summery, but it also had red and blue, so it kind of, went with all of my summer wardrobe. And it had a really interesting technique for putting the beads on a little string for the flowers, so they really looked three-dimensional. So this is really held up well considering how often I wore it back in the day. And this was not with my jewelry. It was with other cross stitch things. So I haven't worn it recently because I had kind of forgotten about it. And then the next one, I framed myself. This was a ready-made frame that we sold in the store. This is not how the designer showed it on the cover of their book. Their frame was actually the shape of this mat, so I'm sure I had this mat custom made. I'm sorry, I'm holding it weird so the glare isn't too bad for you. So I think I know why I didn't use the original frame. We carried them, but they were made of a composite wood, so it was really hard to get the brads or the push pins in them. It was really a bugger to frame. So I just did mine this way. And then I wanted to show you that the flowers are white. And when I found this not too long ago, I second guessed my decision to stitch those flowers in white. And I thought, they don't really show up that well against the cream paper. I wonder why I didn't change those to a different color. Well, they were white on the original, so that's why I did it that way, and it was kind of on a cream paper. So they really don't show up any better on the original. This is a picture I found online. And so right now I just can't think of the name of the frame company is right on the tip of my tongue, and I just can't think of what it was, but they're long since retired. But this was a blue whale design, which makes a lot of sense considering that I have many other things that I've done on perforated paper. But when I blew this picture up, it doesn't look like it was stitched on paper. It looks like fabric. So I find that very interesting. I guess I'll know for sure if I ever find my chart. So those are my two vintage stitches. And then a new model that we have on display, a little out of season, but she just finished it recently. So I also had another reason for wanting to show it tonight, but our custom framer, Bonnie, did Easter Pillow by Flossabilities. And when I looked at hers, I thought, wait, what's different about this? Wait, where did those carrots come from? And I don't remember the butterfly. And I did a double take. It wasn't just the difference in the thread that she used, the colors, but then I realized I can't show you because it's only shown on the inside of the chart. But Lauren, the designer, gave two different versions in case you wanted to do the non-religious. So consider this another spring. So I don't know if you remember, but a few months ago, I had done the spring pillow, but it has bees and things on it. And so this is another spring one that also has the religious, Easter motifs that you could choose from. So she changed about half of them. She left off the cross, the church, the candles, and I, I don't know. I think she changed 3 or 4 of them. But anyway, isn't it pretty? And I thought I knew what thread she used, so I didn't confirm it with her before deciding to show this tonight. And it's not what I thought it was. So by the time I show this on social media, I will have asked her what floss she used. I know we talked about it, and sometimes she will bring in a couple fabrics and a couple threads, and then maybe I'll find something else in the store. So I thought she had chosen a color variations, and I can't find one that matches this, so I'll have to double check with her. And the fabric might be latte from the Atomic Ranch automatic that we got recently, and she gets hers in 32 Lugana. So this is on 32 with 1 strand, and it's really pretty. This is kind of a silvery frame, but it has a little bit of a plum undertone, so we thought it was just perfect with the thread. So that is Easter Pillow by Flossabilities. Okay, then for my whips, I'm going to go in order of how I stitch them. The first one was from this year's Halloween magazine. So I'm doing Beware. And the original was done on Mirage from Picture This Plus. And unfortunately, I had not ordered that in the spring when I ordered from Maryland. And I thought, oh, I kind of forgot about that color. So I had Nocturne in 28 Lugana, and it was close enough. It doesn't have quite the same lavender appeal to it, but it's also a little more of a bluish gray, which I think looks really good with bee colors. So he's finished except for the words at the bottom. Her name is Xenia Antipova, and she has a Facebook group called Milo Mini by Xenia, and you can look her up there, and she has other free charts that are available. So anyway, she's, you know, kind of a new person in the magazine. Okay, so next I got back to Where There Are Bees by Prairie Schooler. I'm doing the big sampler, although eventually I want to do the 2 smaller ones as well. This was my day 20 start in Mania 2019. And I only worked on it once or twice until recently. And now I think I'm going to keep going until I'm done because I've made quite a bit of progress. So I moved the Q-snaps recently. So I have to lift this up a little bit. So I finished the top border and added a few other motifs up there. And then I moved down to the bottom because I was in need of another skein of Weeks Dye Works, and I couldn't finish the color up there. So I just decided to move the Q-snap. So the original called for DMC, as Prairie Schooler is known to, you know, not use too many crazy fibers in their work. And I changed it to, since it was a small list of colors, I changed it to Weeks Dye Works. And in case I forget again what the colors were, Charcoal, Whiskey, Jaybird, and Red Pear. And because the Weeks Dye Works is 5 yards instead of the DMC, you know, 8 or 9, I never thought about the fact that I might need more charcoal. And I'm not even sure I started with a completely full skein. I don't know what I was thinking back then. Well, I was only going to stitch on it for 1 day. So it didn't matter that I was fully kitted at that time. So I have another skein of charcoal now. Hopefully it matches. If it doesn't, I didn't completely run out yet. I saved some so that I can intersperse it so that it looks less obvious if it's not a perfect match. But I really like the way it looks with a little bit of variation. I'm stitching it on 32 Antique White Lugana with 2 strands. And I really do believe I will finish this before the end of the year because I really like it. And it's a piece that I can leave up a lot longer than just one season in my house or here. So I am motivated to finish that. And then, because Needlework Marketplace is coming up next weekend, and Lauren and Sam from FlossAbilities are going to be participating, I was motivated to start another one of their projects. So Bonnie has done two, the nautical and the Easter that I just showed. I did the spring, although I haven't fully finished it yet. It is finished being stitched, but I've had my eye on a few of their other ones that I wanted to do. And I thought the next one that I should do is Halloween, since that's approaching. And I got some colors to choose from in recent fabric orders. So this is what the Halloween pillow looks like. And I do like to stitch things differently than how the designer shows it, because why not show customers some other options? And I also decided that I wasn't going to stitch all of mine on the same count or the same type of fabric. I was just going to do whatever I felt like in the moment. So all I did was the little pumpkin so far, but this is 16 count Aida in Voodoo from Picture This Plus. And what else did I get it in? I got it in 32 Lugana. And why did I already forget again what I got it in? Oh, well, it was in last week's video. And I think the next time I order from her, I'm going to get it in other counts. It came in really pretty this time, and I haven't had it in a while, but I was really pleased with the way it looks. So the thread I'm using is Witch's Brew from Color and Cotton, which I thought was just perfect. I held up the fabric to my thread wall and I walked around with it, and I thought, oh, I picked out Witch's Brew right away. So then when I'm stitching with it, I thought, wait, why am I stitching with purple? Is this purple or is this gray? Like, what color is this? I thought it was so obviously purple, and I remember purple plummy colors running through it the last time I had it. So then I had gotten partway through the pumpkin and I was here. So I thought, you know, I'm just gonna hold up some other grays to it. So I took 3 other Color and Cottons and something from Classic and Gentle Art and Weeks Dye Works, and I put them up, and you know, the grays don't match the color running through this. This really does kind of have a plum undertone, and you may not be able to tell on camera, like maybe you think that looks like black or dark gray stitching, but anyway, I'm really pleased with it. I do have more of Witch's Brew in stock, but another choice would be Mulberry from Weeks Dye Works, but not Mulberry from Gentle Art because that one's red. So, but you may pick a different color fabric. So anyway, I think this is going to be really fun, and I'm satisfied with the one strand so far. I thought I'm just going to do one row and see if I like it. And if I don't think it's covering well enough, then I'll just start over again with 2 strands. But I like the way the one looks, and you stitch faster with one. So I'll probably get a lot more of this done before I get to show Lauren and Sam over the weekend. This will be my focus this week. So that is Halloween Pillow. But before I started that, I finished this. So this is Lizzie Kate's Wise Men Still Seek Him. And I had the perfect sized remnant of 28 count Cashel, and I think it might be Boardwalk from Color and Cotton, because I had stitched a few other things on it, so I think that's maybe where this remnant came from. And I changed 2 of the colors, I think, just to show up better because of dye lot issues or whatever. And anyway, I really like the way it looks, and I'll have to look at some finishing options. Okie doke. Then this week we got in what was a Shannon Christine Facebook Sal, or it was part of her Patreon. I'm sorry, I forgot to look up the details. But my friend Emily was here yesterday, and she already has it. She had gotten it as PDFs, and she reminded me that there was a border around the whole series, and I forgot to check how you get the border. So anyway, if you buy any of these patterns, hopefully I will know the answer to that. But it's a series called Spooky House. There's 9 parts, and they go, you know, kind of all on one piece of fabric. I don't think I should start something that big, you know, right now. And so I'm going to do 3 in a row. And you'll notice as I show you these that there are 3 different bottom borders and 3 different corner designs. So I think all I have to do is pick one from each of the sets of 3 so that I incorporate all the different details in my finished picture. Okay, how am I going to do this? All right, I will just put them upside down and show you this way. Okay, so this is Spooky House number 1. Notice the different border at the bottom. And this is the plaid at the bottom. And you know, they're all similar, but they're so different. And I know it's going to take me a while to figure out, do I want the witch bigger? Do I want the one with all the cats? Anyway, this is number 4. Number 5. I want to make sure that I get a witch, that I get a cat, that I get a tree. So I'll have to look at these a little closer. And then we have 8 and 9. So that came along with some special orders and some reorders, but that was the newest set of charts that I got in that order. And then so I got Dinky Dye's scissors. I had some more special orders to get from that distributor, and they have 2 of their regular length scissors. This is a sea theme, and this is called Sprinkles. And I'm gonna pick a winner for one of these pairs of scissors for next week. But there's 3 more, so hang on. Don't write down your choice yet. In fact, you don't even have to tell me your choice. I can just talk about that with the winner. But these are the other 3, and these are the shorter ones, the smaller ones. So this one over here is Daisies. I don't think the design is real prominent, but if you like pastel scissors, it's a pretty color. The middle one is called Purple Baby, and this one's called Spotty Blue. So what I want you to do is tell me approximately how many pairs of scissors you own. I had a lot of fun doing this contest years ago in my store, and I made people take pictures of their scissors if they had too many to bring in to show me. And then I gave everybody a little scissor, not a sheath, but a scissor. I called them scissor condoms, but they were like little clear rubber. They were probably knitting needle tips. But I gave one for every pair of scissors they owned just for participating. And I can't remember what the prize was. Certainly not another pair of scissors, right? I can't remember what it was. If I run across that information, I'll let you know later. So just tell me approximately, and it can be all kinds of scissors, not just embroidery size. Okay, then I had gotten this fabric with a previous order, but I didn't have time to show it that night. So I did get recently 2 kind of hard to get colors from R&R Reproductions. And this is Abecedarian in 32, and I'll just show it a couple different ways so you can get an idea. It's a really nice neutral, darker than antique white, but not too yellow. And then this is Brenda's Brew, which honestly, I had forgotten how dark it was. I was thinking Brenda's Brew wasn't too much darker than Patriot or Winter Brew, but it's quite a bit darker, a nice medium neutral with a little bit of like a mocha feel to it. But I know that obviously Brenda Gervais has used this color, and I don't know why it's so hard to get. You would think that they would dye more of it since they named it for a designer and they know that, charts were put out using it. So anyway, I was really happy to snag those two. All right, and then the next thing I have to share with you is that the winner of the Wee Santa and the thread from last week's video is Sandra Kalmeyer, and she was already a local customer of mine who moved away for years and then moved back a little while ago, a year ago. She's still probably like at least an hour away, but anyway, I will be able to see her more often now. So she's going to get this in the mail, and I don't think I forgot anything. So let me just say that next weekend will probably be taken up by participating in the Needlework Marketplace. It'll be a little bit harder for me to get all my ordering done during the shop hours because I'll be working and there hopefully will be customers. I also wanted to let you know that I'm not pushing for pre-orders. Obviously, you have not seen me mention that yet. A lot of other shops were taking prepaid pre-orders for charts. And, with all the tariff nonsense, we've gotten some good news recently, but I was a little worried about ordering from different places, and I thought maybe I would just wait that out. But even now, I think I'm going to focus on fabric, honestly. We have the tour coming up, people stitching for Christmas and different holidays, and I just feel like my money is better spent on fabric. So the other day I posted a collage on Facebook and Instagram showing 6 companies that I was pretty sure I was going to order from, and I asked for suggestions of colors that you may have used from them, and I actually had a few designers comment. So, I'm not going to remember the companies now. Is that crazy? Wait, let me see. Let me look it up in my photos. Okay, here we go. So Bestitch Me was somebody that I was going to order from again because I'm out of some of her really nice neutrals, and there are a few other colors that I've never had. Then the Digistitchery does printed linens. Now I can't remember whether she had other types of fabric or not, but she has an Etsy shop, so you can check her out there. And I got positive reviews from people that have used her designs. They do come pre-cut, which might be easier for me because I won't be putting a lot of money into yardage. I'll be getting 8 by 10 or 12 by 14 or whatever. The hard part for me will be, do I get all the same size or do I mix it up? Or the fun thing about this marketplace is that I can actually talk to her and say, hey, what's the most popular size that people order? Then Grace Notes Fabrics, I think they might have some new colors. And Bonnie, my framer, has used some of her colors that I've never had before. So we have models done on fabric that I probably should order. Hometown Fibers, I believe, has an Etsy shop or a website. And now I don't remember what special things I saw there. Moonlit Dye Works is another new one. And then Needle Bling Designs. I didn't get anything at Market this time, and they have a really nice couple neutrals and a few other colors that I've never carried before. So that's who I was thinking of ordering from. I'm also thinking of getting Pirate and Robin thread, but if all my money goes towards fabric, I might not have enough to get the whole line, and I feel like that's something I might want to do all at once. So you could also tell me on the side if you've ever used Pirate and Robin, because they looked interesting. My framer was very interested when I showed her the colors. Okay, I think that's all for now. And it looks like I didn't do a video market weekend last summer. So I think it's safe to say that I might be skipping that one. So you might not see me for 2 weeks. Okay, well, thanks for watching. I appreciate all my subscribers and welcome to any new people that joined. And I'll be back in 2 weeks with more of my own stitching and what's new in the shop and what I ordered at market. Okay, stay tuned. Bye-bye.